Hello, another workshop video, Jap 4x4. Today we've got another collie in. We're going to be doing the transfer, the morning fail. He can't resist, can he? We're going to be doing the transfer output seal, the front one. So when you're ordering these, I'll show you what I mean. You'll think, oh, it's a transfer box, so it's the rear. It's actually the front of the transfer box. So that's the one we're going to be doing today. I'll show you, see what's going on. I'll show you what tools we're going to use, show you everything you need to do it. I've already had a brew, so we're all set, so we should be all right to go. Okay, so I'll just show you what bolts we're going to have to take off and what we need to do. So we've got the prop here. This is the transfer box, so we're going to do the front seal. Try not to get a shadow, here we go. We're going to do the front seal, so it's leaking out of here enough to warrant changing. The seal were about £4.50 from KS International. Like, subscribe, we'll send you a discount code if you want to get your bits from there. Great parts. We've not had any issues with them at all. So we're going to be changing this seal in here. I hope you can see that quite well. We've got 4 14mm nuts to take off. We'll move the prop out of the way. We're going to take this guard off, just because when we take the seal out, hopefully oil comes out of it. You don't want to be running these things dry. So we're going to take this little guard off for the sake of 4 bolts. Oil pan underneath, we'll catch all the oil, and then we'll go from there. These have been loosened already. Best way to get these undone to start with, get a bit of a bar and be careful what you're doing. You're just going to put it in the prop there, get a nice purchase on it, and they should just crack off. Like always, if they're tight, get some heat on it. Once you've got it going with spanner or ratchet, whatever method you want to use, it's easier. I don't think you get a ratchet spanner in there, so I'm just going to buzz these off now with the right socket. 14mm, 4 nuts. Little spring washer behind them. Don't lose anything. The next thing I'm going to do is get this drip pan off, this protection plate, otherwise it's going to leak oil straight into the front here and all the way back to these holes, and we're going to struggle to catch it. So make sure you've got some oil to replace it. Okay, so drip pan's off, 4 bolts are off. This should separate now, and then we can get the prop moved out of the way. So plenty of grease, plenty of lube, make sure everything's nice and free. You might have to just give it a quick little knock, but it should come loose like that. So once it starts rattling, you're on the right path. We're going to pull that back. There's plenty of room in the prop to pull it back. Stick it out of the way, and then carry on. Just gentle taps. Right on the end there. Okay, different noise, so that's started to come now. And she's gone. So be careful, because when you take your last one out, that prop's going to come down and drop. So you just want to take your time. As always. Okay, so the prop's out of the way. Got away with not taking that one out, but I will do to put it back, just so I'm not forcing anything. Reveals this big nut, 30mm, so you're going to get some good pressure on that to get it undone. You don't want to be doing anything other than applying a nice bit of pressure onto that. So this is where 2 men come in handy. So you need to lock the prop off and stop all that rear axle from turning so you can get it undone. Otherwise you're just going to be going around in circles. Okay, so it shouldn't be too tight. We're just going to get a bit of a bar in the back here, a little bit of pressure again, and then your oil's going to start hopefully leaking out. If it doesn't leak out, it's not had enough oil in it, which is not a good situation to be in. So, bit of pressure, bit of a wiggle, there we go. Nice and smoothly come out. And I'm just going to let that oil start leaking out. Okay, so that's coming out nicely now. Smelly stuff, don't get it all over your clothes. What I'm going to check just while that's leaking out, before we make a brew, is that I've got a right seal. So, this is the transfer front output seal. Okay, you can get them from KS International. Here's your part numbers. It's the 177. That's the one we've used. I'm just going to offer it up just to make sure it's similar, but I'm not going to touch it on anything, not going to get it dirty. It looks absolutely bang on. It should be. It's from KS. They're absolutely mint. Next job is to get this seal out. Nice and carefully. Get a bit of lube on the new seal. We'll get the new seal in. First, it's brew time. Right, let's get that seal out. Oil stop dripping out. We've had a brew, we're nice and refreshed. A lot of the time you can get a pick in the back of that and it'll just pop out. This one's knackered, so easy out. Most of the time it'll take a little bit of pressure just to get it out, so just work your way around the edge nice and easy and it'll just start to come free, and eventually out it pops. You're going to get a bit more oil. There's the old seal. Let's have a little bit of an inspection just to see why it was leaking. There's actually a little bit of wear and tear in it. So that's the old seal. I'm going to compare that to the new one now, so we make sure we've got the right things going back on. Okay. So same circumference, same inner circumference, same width, absolutely bang on. So that's the correct part number. Don't expect anything else from KS. I'm going to put a little bit of lube around the edge. John's top tip, a bit of lube around the edge. Just going to use the old transfer box oil, press it in nice and equally. What we don't want to do is ruin this. They're about $4.50, so other than a bit of labour, they're worthwhile doing. Don't avoid doing it, and you make sure your car's right. So just thinking logically for you chaps at home, you're probably not going to have a socket big enough knocking about to clear this inner and get to the edge. So all you need to do is get the old seal and just gently, really slowly tap it round. Just work your way around until it's flush on all corners. What you don't want to be doing is hitting it in too far, having to take it back out, because the likelihood is that you're going to damage it. So we're just going to put the old one straight back over to listen the old seal, and we're just going to work our way around. Nice and gently. Just going to keep taking it off. Pretty level at the top. And we're just going to keep going until it's level. Right, so the new seal's in. That took probably 3 or 4 minutes of just gentle tapping, just working your way all the way around, just to get it nice and even, and it's absolutely flush all the way around that seal now. So happy with that, happy that that's going to seal. We need to be careful building it back up. Damage any of these rubbers, you're starting again. So we take our time. I'm going to get everything set up now. I'm going to give everything a bit of a wipe and a clean, and then get rid of all the old oil, because what we need to do is make sure afterwards that it's not leaking. And if you've got loads of oil sat here, you'll assume it's leaking. So we're going to get rid of all that before we put the plate back on, make sure everything's nice and clean. Right, so we're pretty much there. I'm going to give it a good clean off now, so I'm going to spray it with a bit of mech oil, give it a good wipe down. That way, if any oil appears, we know where it's coming from. Fingers crossed it doesn't. I'm going to put that bash plate back on, I'm going to give it a turn, just to make sure everything's working as it should, and then we're pretty much there. Right, okay, so we're pretty much there, everything's tightened back up. Last job, which you cannot forget, is top the transfer box oil up. So we've got a 24mm here, we're going to get this 24mm out and we're going to fill it up until the level, it just starts to drip out a little bit, so make sure you've got a bucket, plenty of oil. I'm going to be using a syringe to top it up, it's the easiest way. Use what you can at home. You're probably mostly not going to have a syringe like we're going to use, but you can get the oil tubs with it's got like a little nozzle on them, and you can just squeeze it in from the top. So just do what you can, take your time with it. I think to fill them they take a couple of litres, 2.5 litres maybe, but I'll tell you, I'm going to go grab the oil now. Okay, so my apologies, I didn't press record, but I have topped it back up. This is 24mm here. You're going to fill it up with 75 90s gearbox oil, transfer box oil. You can get that from KS. Again, here's your part number. Is it backwards? Might be flipped backwards, forwards. Punch it in on KS, they'll sort you out. Like and subscribe, we'll send you our discount code for Jack4Before group. All full, nothing's leaking out. We're going to give it a road test, we'll bring it back, make sure everything's working as it should, we're not getting any noises we shouldn't get, make sure everything's tight, and as always, try it yourself, have a go. If not, give us a call, we'll see how we can help you. Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, we're everywhere now. But all members are friendly, we'll help you best we can. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Jack4Before Workshop out.